Imagine entire cities built in absolute darkness, complete with advanced ventilation, precise climate control, and intricate highways connecting millions of inhabitants, all designed by architects who cannot see, cannot speak, and possess brains smaller than a grain of rice. This is not science fiction, not fantasy, and not a futuristic concept dreamed up by human engineers. This is happening right now beneath your feet, hidden under soil, savannas, forests, and grasslands. Termites are quietly constructing some of the most sophisticated structures ever created on Earth. Their cities stand as living proof that intelligence does not always require sight, sound, or technology, only time, cooperation, and perfect adaptation. Beneath the surface of our world lies an invisible civilization that has existed for millions of years, long before humans ever learned to stack stones or shape concrete. Termites, often dismissed as simple pests, are in fact ancient master builders whose architectural achievements rival, and in some ways surpass, those of modern human society. Their massive mounds and subterranean networks are not random piles of dirt, but carefully engineered systems designed to regulate temperature, manage airflow, protect against predators, and sustain entire colonies that can number in the millions. Every tunnel, chamber, and wall serves a purpose, forming a perfectly balanced ecosystem crafted in complete darkness. When we look at a towering termite mound rising from the African savanna, we are witnessing the equivalent of a skyscraper built by insects barely a few centimeters long. Scaled to human size, some termite mounds would dwarf the Burj Khalifa. What appears above ground is only a fraction of the structure. Below the surface stretches an immense underground network, sometimes extending several meters deep and spreading wider than a football field. These subterranean cities are more complex than many human-built systems, containing food storage rooms, nurseries, royal chambers, waste disposal zones, and ventilation shafts that work together with astonishing precision. What makes these structures even more remarkable is that termites build them without a central planner. There is no chief architect issuing blueprints, no overseer directing construction. Instead, each termite follows simple biological rules, responding to chemical signals called pheromones. Through millions of tiny, coordinated actions, an incredibly complex structure emerges. This process, known as self-organization, allows order to arise from apparent chaos. It is a concept that modern scientists and engineers study intensely, hoping to replicate it in robotics, urban planning, and artificial intelligence. Termite cities are not static monuments. They are living, breathing systems that adapt constantly to their environment. Temperature changes, humidity shifts, and external threats are all accounted for within the design. One of the most astonishing aspects of termite architecture is their mastery of climate control. Many termite species farm fungus as their primary food source, and this fungus can only survive within a very narrow range of temperature and humidity. Despite living in environments with extreme heat during the day and cold temperatures at night, termites maintain an almost perfectly stable internal climate within their mounds. This stability is achieved through an intricate system of tunnels, vents, and air chambers that function as a natural air conditioning unit. Warm air generated by the metabolic activity of millions of termites and their fungus rises through central chimneys, while cooler air is drawn in through lower openings. This creates a continuous flow of fresh air without the use of fans, electricity, or sensors. The mound itself acts as a giant lung, inhaling and exhaling in response to temperature differences between the inside and outside environment. This phenomenon, often referred to as the chimney effect, is a passive ventilation strategy that modern architects are only beginning to fully understand and apply. Some contemporary buildings now mimic termite mound designs to reduce energy consumption and improve natural airflow. In Zimbabwe, an office complex inspired by termite architecture uses up to 90% less energy for climate control than conventional buildings. What termites perfected through evolution over millions of years, humans are just starting to rediscover. The material termites use to construct their cities is another marvel of natural engineering. Termite mounds are built from a mixture of soil, saliva, and organic matter, creating a composite material that is incredibly strong and durable. In some cases, this natural cement is stronger than concrete. It resists erosion from heavy rains, withstands extreme heat, and can remain intact for decades, even centuries, after the colony has abandoned it. These structures are also remarkably resilient to environmental threats. Floods that would destroy human buildings often leave termite mounds standing. Their rounded shapes and strategic tunnel layouts distribute stress evenly, reducing the risk of collapse. Some studies suggest that termite mounds can even absorb and dissipate seismic vibrations, making them surprisingly resistant to earthquakes. Every curve, slope, and internal wall is shaped not by aesthetics, but by survival-driven efficiency. Inside the mound, the organization is just as impressive as the exterior. Chambers are designated for specific purposes, ensuring the smooth functioning of the colony. The nursery rooms are carefully positioned to maintain optimal conditions for eggs and larvae. The royal chamber, housing the queen and king, is heavily fortified and centrally located, protected by layers of tunnels and worker activity. Waste disposal areas are isolated to prevent contamination, demonstrating an advanced understanding of sanitation long before humans developed similar systems. The queen termite herself is a biological wonder. In some species, she can live for decades and lay thousands of eggs every single day. Her body becomes enormously enlarged, turning her into a living egg-producing machine. Yet even this vital figure is completely dependent on the workers who feed her, groom her, and protect her. The entire colony operates as a single superorganism, where individual termites function like cells in a body, each performing a specialized role for the survival of the whole. What is perhaps most humbling about termite architecture is its age. These ancient architects have been perfecting their building techniques for over 100 million years. When dinosaurs walked the earth, termites were already constructing complex structures. Human civilization, by comparison, is a blink of an eye in evolutionary time. The pyramids of Egypt, often celebrated as timeless engineering feats, are incredibly young when measured against the lineage of termite mounds. Despite this, termites accomplish all of this without vision. They navigate and build in complete darkness, relying on touch, vibration, and chemical signals. Each grain of soil is placed deliberately, guided by instinct, refined through countless generations. Their silence is equally striking. No commands are spoken, no discussions held, yet their collaboration is flawless. It challenges our human-centric view of intelligence and forces us to reconsider what true ingenuity looks like. Modern scientists continue to study termite mounds using advanced tools like thermal imaging, 3D scanning, and airflow modeling. Each discovery reveals new layers of complexity. Some mounds adjust their ventilation patterns seasonally, opening and closing specific tunnels to respond to changes in temperature and rainfall. Others modify internal structures as the colony grows, expanding living areas while maintaining structural stability. This adaptability is something even the most advanced human-designed buildings struggle to achieve. There is also a deeper ecological role played by these hidden cities. Termite mounds enrich the soil, improving water retention and nutrient distribution. They create microhabitats that support plants, insects, reptiles, and mammals. In many ecosystems, termite activity is essential for maintaining balance. Destroying termite populations can lead to soil degradation and reduced biodiversity, highlighting their importance far beyond their reputation as household pests. The story of termites is a reminder that greatness does not always announce itself. It often exists quietly, unnoticed, beneath the surface, while humans race to build taller towers and smarter cities. Nature has already solved many of the problems we struggle with, using principles of efficiency, sustainability, and cooperation. Termites do not waste resources, do not overbuild, and do not disrupt their environment unnecessarily. Their cities are perfectly tuned to the world around them. As we face global challenges like climate change, energy shortages, and urban overcrowding, the lessons hidden within termite mounds become increasingly relevant. By studying these ancient architects, we gain insights into sustainable design, passive climate control, and decentralized collaboration. The future of human engineering may very well depend on ideas borrowed from creatures we once considered insignificant. In the end, termite cities stand as a powerful symbol of nature's quiet brilliance. Built in darkness, shaped by instinct, and refined over millions of years, they represent one of the greatest engineering achievements on Earth. The next time you walk across soil or pass by a strange mound rising from the ground, remember that beneath you lies a world of astonishing complexity, a civilization without sight or sound engineered by blind, silent architects whose genius continues to inspire and humble us all. What truly separates termite architecture from human construction is not just scale or durability, but intelligence without awareness. Every tunnel carved, every wall reinforced, every chamber expanded happens without a single termite understanding the final design. There are no blueprints, no rehearsals, no mistakes corrected by discussion. Instead, termites respond to chemical cues left behind by others, a silent language written in scent. One termite places a grain of soil mixed with saliva, another senses it and adds another, and slowly, inevitably, a structure of astonishing precision begins to rise. Complexity emerges not from planning, but from repetition perfected by evolution. As the colony grows, the architecture grows with it. Unlike human buildings that are fixed once completed, termite cities are constantly remodeled. Walls are thickened when temperatures rise, new ventilation tunnels are carved during seasonal shifts, and chambers are expanded as the population increases. This living architecture responds dynamically to environmental pressure. If part of the mound is damaged by rain or predators, workers immediately begin repairs, restoring airflow and structural balance before the internal climate can collapse. Survival depends on speed and coordination, and termites have mastered both. One of the most astonishing features hidden within these mounds is the highway system. Beneath the soil, termites construct smooth, efficient tunnels that allow rapid movement between key zones. These underground highways reduce energy loss, protect termites from predators, and maintain humidity levels essential for survival. Traffic flows are instinctively organized. Soldiers guard critical junctions, workers transport food and building materials, and caretakers move larvae through protected routes. Every pathway has a function, and congestion is minimized through decentralized movement patterns that modern traffic engineers still struggle to replicate. At the heart of many termite colonies lies a fragile yet essential agricultural operation. Certain termite species cultivate fungus gardens deep within their mounds. These fungi break down tough plant material that termites cannot digest on their own. Maintaining these gardens requires extreme environmental precision. Too much heat, too little humidity, or poor air circulation can wipe out the colony's primary food source. Yet termites regulate these conditions flawlessly, adjusting tunnel openings and airflow patterns without ever knowing what they are doing. The result is a perfectly controlled underground farm operating year-round. The mound itself plays a crucial role in this agricultural success. Its porous walls allow gases to pass through while blocking sudden temperature changes. Carbon dioxide produced by millions of termites is efficiently expelled, while oxygen-rich air is drawn inside. This gas exchange happens continuously, driven by subtle differences between internal and external temperatures. During the day, heat rises and escapes through upper vents. At night, cooler air sinks and refreshes the lower chambers. The entire system works without energy input, powered solely by physics and form. Human engineers, after centuries of mechanical solutions, are only now beginning to appreciate the elegance of such passive systems. Skyscrapers packed with air conditioners consume massive amounts of energy, while termite mounds achieve superior regulation using nothing but mud and instinct. This contrast exposes a humbling truth. Advanced technology does not always outperform ancient biological wisdom. In fact, nature often arrives at solutions that are more efficient, resilient, and sustainable than anything humans design. The strength of termite architecture is equally astonishing. When researchers analyze mound material, they find a composite that hardens over time, forming a dense, almost stone-like structure. Saliva acts as a binding agent. Soil provides mass, and organic fibers increase tensile strength. This natural concrete resists cracking, absorbs shock, and adapts to moisture changes. Rainwater does not weaken it. Instead, it often makes it stronger. Some abandoned termite mounds remain standing for decades, long after their builders are gone. Even predators struggle against these fortresses. Anteaters, one of the most specialized termite hunters on Earth, must expend enormous effort to break through mound walls. Termites respond instantly, sealing breaches from the inside and launching defensive formations. Soldiers block entrances with their heads, while workers rebuild behind them. This layered defense strategy ensures that, even if attackers breach the outer shell, the inner sanctum remains protected. It is siege warfare perfected by insects. Yet for all their defensive strength, termite cities are not aggressive structures. They are deeply integrated into their environment. By digging and transporting soil, termites improve water infiltration and nutrient distribution. Their mounds create fertile islands where plants grow taller and greener than surrounding land. Animals use abandoned tunnels for shelter. Seeds germinate more easily in termite-modified soil. In this way, termites act as ecosystem engineers, shaping landscapes quietly and profoundly. The age of this architectural tradition is perhaps its most staggering aspect. Fossil evidence suggests that termites have been building complex structures for over 100 million years. Long before humans learned to farm, termites were already cultivating fungus. Long before cities existed, termites were managing population density, waste disposal, and climate control. Their civilization has survived mass extinctions, climate shifts, and continental drift. Few human institutions can claim even a fraction of that longevity. This endurance raises an uncomfortable question. If termites have thrived for millions of years using decentralized cooperation and sustainable design, why do human systems so often collapse under their own complexity? Termite colonies do not overconsume. They do not expand endlessly without regard for resources. Growth is balanced by environmental limits. When conditions worsen, colonies adapt or shrink rather than destroy their surroundings. There is no concept of excess, only survival. Scientists studying swarm intelligence see termite behavior as a blueprint for future technologies. Algorithms inspired by termite construction are already used in network design, robotics, and artificial intelligence. Autonomous robots that build without central control, disaster response systems that adapt in real time, and data networks that reroute themselves after damage all borrow ideas from these blind builders. The future of engineering may depend less on command and more on cooperation. Just as termites demonstrate every day, there is also a philosophical lesson hidden within these dark cities. Termites remind us that intelligence is not always loud or visible. It does not require consciousness or ambition. It can emerge from simple rules followed faithfully over time. Their greatness is not individual but collective. No single termite matters, yet the colony achieves what no individual could ever accomplish alone. In a world obsessed with singular genius, termites quietly prove the power of unity. As night falls over the savanna and temperatures drop, termite mounds continue their silent work. Airflows shift, internal chambers adjust, and millions of tiny lives move in perfect rhythm. No lights shine, no sounds echo, yet an entire city remains alive and functional. While humans sleep above ground, these ancient architects continue refining designs older than civilization itself. And this is only part of the story. Beneath the soil, deeper mechanisms, more secrets, and even greater lessons remain hidden, waiting to be uncovered by those willing to look past size and noise to recognize true engineering genius in the dark. Deep within these underground worlds exists a form of organization that quietly challenges how humans define intelligence. Termites do not think, plan, or visualize their cities. Yet their collective behavior produces structures that feel intentional and refined. Each termite follows only basic instinctive rules, responding to scent, touch, temperature, and vibration. When millions of these tiny actions combine, complex architecture emerges naturally. It is design without designers, intelligence without awareness. Another remarkable feature of termite cities is sanitation. Waste is never allowed to mix with living or agricultural chambers. Separate waste zones are sealed off, airflow is carefully directed, and antimicrobial compounds in termite saliva reduce harmful bacteria. Even dead termites are removed or recycled quickly. Long before humans understood hygiene, termites had already mastered it in complete darkness. Communication inside these mounds is silent yet precise. Vibrations warn of danger, pheromone trails guide movement, and alarm signals trigger instant defense. There is no confusion, no delay. Every message serves survival. In contrast, many human systems fail due to miscommunication rather than lack of resources. Termites, blind and mute, coordinate with astonishing efficiency. When disaster strikes, termite architecture reveals its greatest strength: resilience. Fires may burn the surface, floods may damage outer walls, predators may breach defenses, yet colonies often survive. Internal chambers remain protected, repairs begin immediately, and balance is restored. These are not rigid structures meant to impress, but living systems designed to endure failure. Modern scientists and architects now study termite mounds as models for sustainable design. Passive cooling, decentralized construction, and self-repairing systems are no longer futuristic ideas. Termites have been using them successfully for millions of years. Their cities consume no fuel, create no waste, and remain in harmony with their environment. Perhaps the most powerful lesson termites offer is humility. Beneath our feet exist cities more efficient than many of our own, built without machines, noise, or light. These ancient architects remind us that true engineering brilliance does not always rise into the sky. Sometimes, it thrives quietly in the dark, waiting to be noticed.